when you already know you kind of got a niche at the top of the draft, why risk it? And that's where I think it's really interesting that Ty Simpson right now is going to throw during the quarterback session here, the quarterback of Alabama, right? I think that's really interesting because for my money, I would say he's clearly number 2 in the quarterback conversation behind Fernando Mendoza. And as you know, I'm kind of starting down this road of starting to look at these guys a little bit here. And what I would also say is, like, for Ty Simpson, when you look at his best games and what he does there, I'd go, is that better than Fernando Mendoza? I mean, there was a period in the middle of the college football season where the best quarterback in college football was Ty Simpson. I mean, Alabama couldn't run the ball. They couldn't play defense. It was Ty Simpson and the receivers carrying the football team. So the fact, and the season didn't end well, so it feels like his stock went down a little bit. So it is interesting, and I'm going to be really interested to see if he definitely does throw when it comes time. I know they're saying he is right now, but I could see them pulling back at the last second and going, you know what? We've talked to enough people here all week. I think you're viewed highly. Let's not throw. Let's not do it.
Yeah, he's reportedly expected to throw. Fernando Mendoza is not. And look, you're the college football guy in the building. Clarify something for me, because Ty Simpson went through this roller coaster of entering the draft, and then other schools started throwing NIL money at him.
Right.
And I think he just paused for a little bit, and his bottom line position was, I don't want to tarnish my Alabama legacy by playing somewhere else. Why not go back to Alabama then? Did he kind of get the nudge? Is this one of the reasons why his draft stock was perceived as dipping, because Alabama wanted to move on to someone else?
I don't think so. I haven't heard that. So that would be like news to me as far as that being a topic there. I think he had kind of like, I'm going to go out. I think there were some people that were, hey, the end of the season wasn't the greatest for you, so your stock's a little down here, right? And then I think there was probably some people that go, wait, do you sure you don't want to play more? You sure you don't want to play like and get another year of experience and do that? So I think there was some waffling there from his camp, but I don't think there was anybody at Alabama that was there to take his job or do anything like that. And like I told you, there was a time where I was on college football during, let's say, week 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, where I was going, Ty Simpson is the Heisman winner. He's the Heisman winner. He's every week carrying the team, making unbelievable throws, doing all of that. But because of all that, he got beat up a lot during the year. It was on him all the time. You could see he lost weight. He wore down a little bit. And he was beat up at the end of the year in his last game in the Rose Bowl when he played Indiana. So I don't think you got the best picture of him, and I think his stock fell. But I think when the people that really count start to dig in on Ty Simpson, they're going to go, oh, shit, damn. Uh-oh. Man, everybody just thought he'd be on the board at number 20 for Pittsburgh. Uh-oh. He's going to go before that. And I wouldn't be shocked if that's what happens here with Ty Simpson.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that's going to play out over the next couple of months, and we'll see whether or not he throws this weekend. I'm just glad of all the bad things that social media has brought to society. I think one good thing it has done, it has helped to quiet those who every year at this time would make that argument of, why don't you want to compete? Why don't you want to throw? Like, why don't you want to entertain me for free some more?
Right.
You've already been, at least it's how it used to be, you've been entertaining me for free for 3, 4, 5 years. I want entertainment. I'm bored. There's no football on TV. Go out and throw the football. Doesn't matter if it affects you in a negative way. I got nothing else to watch this weekend. Go throw the football. Right. That kind of crap has ended. We went through several years where there was a cluster of NFL analysts who would get indignant at the mere suggestion that someone would make a business decision to not throw at the scouting combine. And fortunately, I think those days are over, because I don't see anybody getting dragged for that ridiculous opinion anymore. So that tells me nobody's out there articulating that ridiculous opinion anymore.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think everybody realizes a business, every situation's got, its own circumstances that are particular to the individual, and we get that. and that's totally fine. And like you've said, and I always give you credit for this because I say it to people all the time, like there's plenty of film and there's been plenty of people that watch the guy in person, especially the top guys. The GMs have flown to watch games and see him in person, to throw the ball and go, oh, there's no defender. He's never worked with this guy at receiver ever in his life. Let me see. Does he throw it perfect on the 10-yard out route? Oh, negative. He's oh gosh, he didn't hit the target. I'm going to disregard it for the 100 times he did it in real college football. But now that he didn't do it as much as I like here viewing, I'm going to drop him, on a random Saturday with a guy he doesn't know throwing the football who ran a stupid route and all that. And that's where I think everybody's realized it's a tough environment, and it's not always there to succeed. And it feels like the combine is going to be the spot going forward where, Johnny, I don't feel like I'm getting the respect I deserve in the draft process. Let me show you what I can do out here to give myself some more hype and prop myself up. And that's just where the combine feels like it's going right now.
And by the way, speaking of the coaches who recognize that, their time may be better spent, Liam Cohen, coach of the Jaguars, James Gladstone, the GM of the Jaguars, neither will be in Indianapolis this year. They were both there last year. We interviewed Cohen, and Gladstone had just gotten the job as GM just like a day or two before it was time to go to Indy. This year they're making the strategic decision to not go. And one thing that caught my eye, beyond not going, because I think you can do a lot more with free agency coming, and you've got other staff members who will be at the workouts in person. You can watch them on film.
Right.
And this is from the item on ESPN.com, they don't want to meet face-to-face, apparently, with any players. They don't want to do it at the combine. They don't want to bring them to the facility. They don't want the interactions with the players to cloud their assessment of the film. And I guess that is a hallmark of an analytics-driven operation where you want you want no bias. Like, man, I really like this guy. He's a nice guy, so I'm going to view his objective numbers a little differently. They don't want to spend any time. It puts a premium on doing your research to make sure you're not drafting a guy that is going to be a problem.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just surprised they want. It's one thing to say we're not going to, the speed dating at the combine doesn't mean anything to us because it's all prepared and rehearsed, and we're really not going to get through to the real guy in 15 minutes. But to not bring anyone, if this is accurate and it's the way it was presented in the ESPN article, they're not going to bring anyone to the facility either. That's a calculated risk because I still think there's value in talking to people, getting to know people, and then challenging yourself to set that aside and make your assessment of their film and of their objective characteristics.
Totally agree with you there. Totally. What was our big talk last year? Remember this? We went to the combine last year. What was everybody worried about? We want football guys. We want guys that love football. We want to be around people that love the sport, right? Because the money of the NIL and all of that, and that was more than ever, right? We talked about last year, it felt like teams in the draft process were more worried about the humans than necessarily the film and the specimen, right? We know they want a good film and good specimen, and we got that. But it wasn't like, oh, wait, this guy's got an amazing specimen, and the film's amazing, but he's a crap guy. So there's a faction in the NFL right now where, people don't want to deal with that anymore. It's too big of an investment. It's too big of a decision here. And that's where I think your in-person meeting, you get to be around. This is where cultures get formed. Wait, he fits. He's us, right? That's where, like, Detroit's mastered people that they know are kneecap-biting, tough guys that want to play ball. They meet them. They realize, they like to work. They like the sport. They like the grittiness. All right, we got a little feel for there. So, there's a little value in both. Yeah, I think you'd want to make your film-based decision. Maybe you do that. You look at that. Okay, you don't meet any, but at some point you'd want to meet the guy for sure. And the other thing that I think and as I know, not all guys that are 6'3", 250 are like cookie cutter, right? There's difference in those guys. And to see them in person at times and go, that guy, that's 6'3", 250. He had a little bit of a belly, right? He's a little lower cut on the waist. He didn't stand out to, gosh, when the other guy walked into 6'3", 250, I mean, damn, his waist waist was up here. It was this small. His shoulders were like this. His neck was like this. And there's like a little bit of a look test that you go, I like the way that guy looks better. I know they're both 6'3", 250, but I like that better. That just looks better. And I think that's where you got to balance the bias and then the value of meeting a guy in person with the look test and the personality test a little bit.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.